Hey everyone, we are live. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm just checking to make sure that we are live and I see people are coming in. Yep, we are live. So let me know where you guys are coming in from tonight. Diamond, my beautiful Vanna, not white, Vanna Black.
Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you guys so much for joining us again. Um, Please do let us know where you are calling in from. We have Delaware in the house, Mississippi in the house tonight. And as always, if you have any questions throughout this time, please leave them in the comments. We are watching and I am saving them for later, and we will circle back to them if you don't see that we get them right away. So we do see you and we appreciate you. We see Georgia in the house, Philly in the house, Tennessee in the house. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us tonight. And also, you will notice that I will have a pinned comment at the top of the comment section, and that is for any links that you may need as we go through this live.
And tonight we're talking about upcoming credit crisis because this student loan situation is not over. They're predicting even more next month. About 10 million Americans will see another update for those who have not been paying on those student loans. So it is a 911. If you have student loans, make sure you guys really tap in and check in on your student loans because people have seen a drop of 165 points up to that month. And this is the first time that they've seen people with prime credit scores. We're talking about over a 720 credit score see their credit scores drop. Now, there is a lot going on. If y'all did not see, the US did go in with Iran and did start and they did attack those three nuclear plants. So, well, what's going on forward in our economy? We don't know how this is going to come back. Right now, the United States is in itself at a real precipice with their own credit rating. If you didn't see, Moody's downgraded the US credit because the ability to pay back the debt, if this big beautiful bill take place and these tax breaks and cuts, high interest rates already with the Fed did not reduce our interest rates. There's a lot of trouble with the bond markets. If we cannot some kind of way, you don't have a lot of foreign investors trying to buy those treasury bonds and different kind of bonds to kind of sponsor this, and the US need to refinance these bonds that's coming up for payment. A lot of us with the bond market, if they have to raise the yield on that, each and every one of us is going to feel that because that has to do with the interest rates connected to your credit cards and with the bank interest rates. So, right now, you want to focus on those things you can control. One of those things is to follow up on your student loans. I have talked to people, we get email correspondence. Some of y'all think it's like, what they say, fat meat is not greasy. A lot of y'all think fat meat is not greasy. And you thinking that since they didn't contact you, but you're seeing everybody else getting hit, that you're not going to get hit. You're going to learn today. You know, all over from the pandemic, not only our economy, other economies is really from all that money printing to keep these economies afloat with this fake currency. None of these countries have currencies backed by gold. All of it is what's called a fiat currency. And not only is America in trouble with their economy and all these different wars breaking out, not including these proxy wars that's going on, how you think that they pay for this stuff? By taxing us. Okay. And those bombers that went out, they cost about what, $2 trillion a piece? They had six of them lined up out there. War is expensive, and we're already sponsoring the Ukraine war pretty much with weapons. And now, if you're talking about supporting Israel, and if you don't see, they're running out of those interceptors, and they looking at who? Hey, you. They're looking at us to support some of this, and now talk about cutting taxes. Uh, who paying for? How all of this stuff going to be paid for? They're by us. That's who they looking at, and what it is looking like to crash this dollar. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of things coming down the pipe, things that's not being reported on. We talked about they reversed not only with the situation with the medical bills now, and you now got more people that's going to be affected. They're saying by next month with these student loans. Please, you guys, this is the year. If you don't get your house in order, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if you're going to have another shot. I'm actually working on a video right now, you guys, and this is real. By 2030, there's going to be 10 states already listed that buying a home is going to be out of reach for most of Americans. New Jersey is one of them. New York is one of them. I was surprised Montana is one of them. And pretty much right now, if you don't see this inflation, the average home price in the United States was 503,000. Now they're saying it dropped down to 416. Like, that's any better. The average home. And if you don't know how you qualify for that, it's what your household income is times 3. So if you make 100,000 times 3, you're about at 300,000. You're still not even in the market by making 300,000, that mark, to buy a home. And they deduct for any monthly obligations like your car payments, also those student loan debts that I'm telling you, y'all better go on follow up, and don't act like fat meat ain't greasy, like you can't get hit. You need to go and slide on and make a payment, and all your other debts, high credit card interest debts. And a lot of you guys have a lot of credit card debts that's keeping your scores down. It's really about to get choppy. And now is the time, if you can, try to maintain those credit. Try to keep going what you got going. You don't want to lose points. And tonight we're going to talk about some of the strategies with your student loans. See, so you don't see this big dip in your credit score for a lot of these people coming next month. They're really going to start actively seeing collections where they're going to garnish some paychecks. They're really pushing for that. Inflation is high enough. I'm quite sure you need everything in your paycheck just to make it now. Start to schedule payments if you know you have student loans out there. Some of you guys have multiple student loans. My biggest suggestion to you guys, you may want to refinance that or consolidate those student loan payments, because some people are going to even see a bigger hit because with a lot of you, you have multiple student loan accounts. And those payments are all due pretty much on the same day. So what I've been seeing, when you miss one, it's been people that miss 27 payments at one time, depending on how many student loans they have separately. Diamond, you even know about that. Like student loans, when you go and sit down, you don't get just one big student loan, payment for that year. They break it down, even sometimes for little classes that you're trying to pay for, you might have one for $1,000, another for 2,000, 3,000. So a lot of people are getting hit with all those student loans all in one time. So maybe you guys want to consider to consolidate or refinance those student loans and make it into one big payment. So if you ever miss a payment, you're not getting hit with like 10 late payments. That's going on. Another big thing, a lot of you guys already got hit big time. What you're seeing with your student loans, you'll see on time, 90 days late. That is not correct reporting. There's no way I could be on time the prior 2 months and then out the blue have a late payment. So with that reporting, that is a violation of the FCRA. So if you are having that scenario, you need to dispute that. And what we're seeing a lot with Equifax turning those reports over, a lot of times if you're aggressively going ahead and disputing that, they're more willing to overturn it. And you're starting to see some of TransUnion now and also Experian turning over those late payments. A lot of you guys already got hit, and you had the scenario I just mentioned. You got multiple student loan accounts. So with my elite credit system, we're seeing people now starting to reverse some of those, but you need to get in contact with your student loan servicer, and you want to go to student, I believe it's student aid.gov, and you want to get your whole account history for your student loans, not just lately, for the whole life of your student loans, because some of these servicers haven't been applying those payments properly. There's been some, like even back with Sally Mae, also Navient, Nelnet, what is the Mahalia just got caught doing that. A lot of them was telling you guys to defer your student loans or put it in not only deferment, what's the other one? It start with an F, deferment, and then you have oh God, it'll come to me. Oh, Diamond, do you not deferment? What's the other one? Uh, it's not deferment. Deferment of forbearance. Somebody, thank you, Alexis. Forbearance. They were having people put it in forbearance instead of offering the income-driven repayment plans that could have saved you some interest. Thank you so much. Forbearance, it just totally slipped my mind. Deferment, you don't have a lot of times in that case interest. A lot of times they don't have it accumulating, but they were always giving people forbearance, and forbearance, that interest keeps going on and building up, and people didn't know it was other options. And what they were doing was purposely putting people into forbearance when they could have gave you those income driven plans, because they wanted to purposely have you run up more student loan debt. So you want to get your whole accounting and to see if they were even applying your payments correctly, because they caught them doing that. So you want to make sure this upcoming time with your student loans, with what's going on with even these medical debts, some of you guys going to see that coming back even next month. Do not let that just catch you off guard. And you don't want to be fighting things that you might can prevent. You see what I'm saying? Because it's very hard sometimes to fight things once it already happened. If you want to make some moves with your credit, right now it's time to focus and do it, especially for y'all. Look to get into some owning home ownership. One of the things I'm going to drop Also showing how Jeff Bezos is also Amazon. They're buying up a lot of single family homes. This is a move so Americans, a lot of y'all kids won't even have an opportunity at home ownership if it keeps going in this direction. And home ownership is the number one way that Americans pass on generational wealth. So if some of you guys do not get your credit in line and start trying in these next 5 years to get in home ownership and to do it before they start more money printing, you might never have a chance. It's sad to say. If you're looking at where the home prices went just from 2018 until now, or 2019, where homes was around, you can get in certain areas. I saw when we were down in Texas, first got in that area, homes for 180,000, 150,000, even 100,000. Now you're hard pressed to find a home in that category. Your best, maybe even 350,000. And you're talking for a starter home. And that's a stretch for most people. For the average American who don't have another home to sell, and to take that equity and put it in another home. That category of 300,000 and up, that is not a starter home. And so what they're moving to do is to make permanent renters. The wealthy, is not that you're not a slave enough a lot. And that's what I'm working on this video to really show you. You're not enough of a slave for them. They want you to have total lack of control. And if you look at the World Economic Forum back in 2016, which people was dubbing the Great Reset, one of their predictions, the number one for 2030, is you will own nothing and you will be happy. And we're talking about, that was about 10 years ago. We're pretty much to that. They're even talking about with your car that they don't want to now give you heated seats. They want you to have a subscription to pay to heat your seat up. And a lot of these options, which things that you can really own, look at vehicles, the prices that they ran those up to about 80 to 60,000 to get a new vehicle. You're almost into a situation where you can only lease. And this is crazy. It's no ownership that they're trying to move you into. And if you don't take this opportunity, well, if they start printing more money, they're trying to set up a situation when all these things, even with your credit, that you don't have access to lending. This is what you're seeing. A lot of this push to either hit you student loans, to drop your credit scores. And now you're talking about medical debt. And with medical debt, if your kid gets sick, you get sick. That's really not your fault to get sick or to try to save a loved one's life. You're trying to save your kid and you can lose everything. Or you might be trying to save your own self and you can lose everything, especially with cancer. Health insurance a lot of times only cover 80% of that treatment. The other 20% is on you. And if you're talking about $100,000, which is nothing, that once you get into hospital stays, doctor visits, radiation, or whatever treatment, 100,000 is a drop in the bucket. You would be looking at about 20 grand that you need to pay for. And that can go and tank your credit score, or that can cause you to file for bankruptcy if they're trying to garnish you on that. So next month, you're looking at even more people, credit scores is going to get hit with these student loan collections, about 10,000 people. Don't let one of those people be you. Try to handle your business now. Watch out for these collections. They're creeping back up. If you're getting those phone calls from medical collections, please send them that debt validation letter. Try to control what you can control. And I know it's very hard with prices, these jobs. This is why home ownership is slated to go away from most Americans. The pay rates is not keeping up with inflation. So make sure that you're trying to leverage your credit right now as much as possible while you have a chance, and start to make the best financial moves to try to control some things, getting assets under your belt. Diamond, if you want, you could come back up and let's take a couple of questions. And if you guys have credit questions, please drop them so we can answer them.
So, one question we just got from the wise Ellie: where can you get the debt validation letters? Can you explain a little bit about the elite credit system and how that works?
Well, with our elite credit system, we have those debt validation letters and other letters that you need right there in the system. You can get where we have debt validation letters. And what debt validation is your right under the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. That is a federal law where you have a right to make them validate the debt. They should show you that they have a legal right to collect on that debt. So that's what a debt validation letter forces them to do. Even if you see it on your credit report, they still have to validate it. Now, here's the key with medical debts. Many times, what they're going to do is send you a bill, a medical bill from that provider. Then, what we do, we have a second letter that you respond. That is a violation against HIPAA laws. So they should not have your private health information. And if they have it, it needs to be stored a certain way. So many a times we found that successful with combating especially medical collections, but it works that way with consumer collections too. They have to have they must validate that they have a legal right to collect on their debt. And Diamond, you could drop the link for those. She'll drop it in the comment section if you
Yes,
need
the
that.
link is.
Oh, and in the comment section, please do not sign those. Send them certified directly to the company. Do not sign those because they will take your signature and they're not above putting it on a contract. And if you pay those, you're giving them a right to report it for the next 7 years, starting from now. And do not talk to them over the phone. They asking you those questions. What's your date of birth? That's validating who you are. And that could start the clock for them to go ahead and slap that on your credit report. And they record those conversations to try to get you to do a verbal contract. So some of these things are time barred against your state laws, but you making an agreement to pay them, you can open yourself up for a lawsuit.
I'm going to kind of fuse the question between Glenda Thomas. She said, what if you are paying on it? And also someone else said that they were paying $50 a month on their medical loans and wanted to know if that is okay, if they're paying towards the loan bill.
If it's a medical loan, like if you had like a credit account, like who is it? Who have it? Synchrony, it'd be Care Credit. If it's something like that, or if it's with the hospital or medical provider, yes, that is fine. If it was a third party collector and you start paying that, unfortunately, if you stop paying that, it can open you up for a lawsuit. So in that case, you would probably be best served to pay it. It's a little too late because once you agree to start paying them, a collection company, now they have they can take you to court for that if you stop. Now you kind of gave them legal standing.
Someone asked if the collections has called you Does that mean that it's already on your credit report? And should you pay it if it's already on your credit report, if the collection is already on hit your credit report?
You want to send a debt validation letter and you can still get that off, because they report it on your credit report doesn't mean that you owe it. And should you pay them? I would not pay collections, because of what I said earlier, it could open you up for a lawsuit, and they might not have legal right to collect on a debt. Portfolio recovery services was just hit last year for that. They were taking people to court for debts they didn't owe. I would also contact my insurance company to make sure that that bill was not paid by them. That happens all the time. These companies are borderline illegal.
So someone had a good question. They asked, "What about logging into the portal? Does that count as the same as talking to them over the phone? Should we not log into the portal?"
Now, let's make a difference with student loan collections and medical collections. Student loans fall under a totally different category, thanks to your government representatives. Back in 2005, they really locked that in. So student loans, if you're going into that portal, actually paying those student loans, you're pretty much stuck with student loans. I'll be honest, you can't even bankrupt those off. So with student loans, you're going to have to pay that, or if not, that's not going away. If it's for a medical or consumer collection, logging in, I wouldn't log into any portal unless it's your medical facility. Sometimes they put those accounts and you can make payments there. That would be okay.
And then Alexis asks, "How can I get my student loans up to date and ensure accuracy?"
Up to date. Number one, you mean, did they already hit you? Because if you need to get them up to date, I would call my servicer. That's what I would. And if it's inaccurate, the reporting, you want to dispute it with the credit bureaus. That's where you want to challenge that inaccurate reporting. So also, like I told one of the other people that was in the comment section, I don't, well, what I said is you want to get that whole history. I encourage anybody with student loans, go to studentaid.gov. I believe that's the website. You want to make sure that, matter of fact, I had it earlier today. You want to make sure that you get your whole account history from the beginning to the end for those student loans, and look for those things I mentioned earlier. See if they misapplied those payments. Make sure you get that information. I believe, did I? Okay, yep. Um, Kanisha sent it to me earlier, and it is studentaid.gov. Um, Matter of fact, Diamond, if I uh text you this, can you drop it in the comment section?
I already dropped it in the comment section.
Oh, this is telling you how to see your student loan payment history. So each account might have a different route of going with it, and it has each article broken down to, depending on what your servicer is. I'm going to see if I can text it to you, and then you can drop it to them if you can. If not, I will pin it. Once we end this live, I will pin it for you guys so you can go and get that history for yourself. Because Mohelia and they have other different links for Ed Financial, where they give you a breakdown to access it, Nelnet and Advantage, and Central Research Inc. That is CRI. So you could check that out, and y'all want to get your whole account history. I suggest anybody with student loans take those steps.
Okay, and Alexis also asked a follow-up question. She said, I have a consolidated loan that I did 3 years ago. I have 14 closed student accounts that haven't been removed yet. How should she?
If they're not reporting negatively, I will leave them on, because if you remove them, um if they're closed and they got good payment history, it can actually decrease your credit score. So I will leave them on. If they are negative, you can dispute those late payments. That's reporting there. But remember, there's positive payments on there. So if you remove any closed account with good payment history, it can decrease your credit score.
Now, Tan Mac had two questions, so I'm going to go to the first one, then we'll go to his next question. He said,
Mhm.
hello, may I ask how long can a collection agency keep you in collections after the 7 years are over, especially if they keep renewing it?
What you want to do is dispute that, and that's called reaging a debt. That is a violation of the CFP, not CFPB, the Fair Credit Reporting Act. So that is a federal violation. So you want to dispute that with the credit bureaus. What I would also do in your case, send a certified letter to the original creditor to find out what was the last date of payment, because that 7 years start for it to fall out from the last payment that you made to that account. And so I would get that also. So so you will have the proof, and you can get that too.
And then he also, Tan Mac also asked, if I racked up close to $1 million in medical bills and was off work for a year, how can I get help with paying them if I'm behind on everything?
Um with medical bills, one of the things, was it for a lawsuit, workman's comp? That's a whole lot of medical bills if you didn't have health insurance. If not, I would also check with my state Medicaid to see if you qualify for that too. Sometimes certain states, they will retro act for that to pay those. So I will look at both of those options.
And then we had a question. Give me 1 second, just finding it. Can a 90-day late be removed?
Yes, yes. Any negative reporting can be removed, because a negative reporting is true. It doesn't mean that they can keep reporting it if it's not 100% accurate or 100% complete. So all that information needs to report 100% accurate. Just like I believe Tan Mac was saying, say a collection was truly bought, it was a true collection, but like he's saying, they keep re-aging that debt, meaning moving the date of last payment on that. Sometimes they'll try to keep making it earlier so they can keep that on. That's a violation. So even if he owes that medical debt, but it's not true, the date of last payment, or the day the account was open, or if the balance is open incorrect, then it needs to be removed, whether it's a true bill or not. So it must be 100% complete and 100% accurate.
I can't put this question up on the screen because there was a little profanity in it. But Bray's Mob said that my credit score was in the 700s and it dropped to 657, and I'm paying all of my things on time. Could that be due to credit utilization, or what could that be?
It probably is utilization. I would first do, I would go and review my credit reports to see if it's at 657, is that all three, or is that one particular um score? Because sometimes what you can see is one negative item is reporting on one bureau and it might not be reporting on the rest. Now with our elite credit system, that's the beautiful part of our AI software. When you actually join, it takes about 2 minutes initially. It'll scan through your credit report and it will line up the negative items for you. So you can pretty much know what your issue is. And we use Smart Credit as the score provider. If it's your utilization, it's something called Score Boost, and it will tell you how many points you can gain or where your score is. So if you want to get back to that 712, if it's your utilization, it'll tell you make this much payment here on this card, this one, this card. Here's the date to pay it by, and here's the date that you're going to see it update. And it will tell you how many points you would get with each credit card for that payment. So say if you say, I only have $500 to pay for this month, it'll say with this $500, where to allocate that payment and how many points you'll get. And it'll tell you the date you will see it produced by.
Now, someone asked, how do I get student loans off of my credit report?
You can dispute them, but because you get them off of your credit report, it doesn't mean that the student loan is still not owed. And what I said earlier to someone else that asked the question, if they're paid off and closed, you might not want to remove them. And if the student loans are being paid in positive with a lot of positive payments, you might not want to remove them. Remember, those on-time payments is helping your credit report. If you remove a bunch of on-time payments, you can see your score drop and a lot of age. So student loans isn't all bad. Student loans is what helped me, because I didn't know when I was younger in deferment. That's what actually gave me a good credit score, because I wasn't paying my student loans. I was still in school, but I didn't know they were doing those on-time payments. So it's not all bad with student loans, long as they're being paid on time. And a lot of times it just come into play if you have a lot of student loan debt, maybe for your qualifications. But when it comes to houses, to get a house, the federal government knows those student loans are there. So I know a lot of people just think I can get them off. Doesn't mean that the loans is not going to be owed. And it doesn't mean that they will not garnish you if you don't pay them. The one thing about student loans, the federal government back them things up. Private collection company, you're going to pay those unless you're really sick. And then they're going to make you pay the taxes on that. If they 1099, give you a 1099-C because you can no longer pay them because of health issues, they want to give you those tax liabilities for the enrichment that you got for the money that you received. So just keep that in mind.
And then the wise Ellie asks, last question, if medical collections are on a credit report, do I have to pay it now based off of the new laws of the CFPB?
No, you don't have to pay it. You could dispute it. And like I said earlier, a lot of times what you could do is send that debt validation letter. What you'll find, they'll respond back with a medical bill as proof that you owe the debt. And that's a violation of the HIPAA law. And so we have a second letter that's telling them that. And a lot of times that's successful and they remove that off. It's not guaranteed, but a lot of times they do know they're violating the HIPAA law. And so that's been a pretty good challenge to them to remove it.
And then someone asks, I'm in the mid 760s with over 20 years of history, never late, about 6% utilization. How do I get to an 800 credit score?
Well, it depends on what your mix of credit is looking at. In the 670s, it could be you might need a installment loan. It might be a mix that you might be missing. And I'll start at my hard inquiries, things in that fashion. Also, make sure you don't get any new lines of credit, because age of credit is very important. But here's the real key. If you're at a 760, you're getting the same interest rates at anybody at an 850. So a lot of people chase a number, But what you want to make sure that you're doing is leveraging your credit to get assets. That's the game. So it's not chasing a credit score. I mean, I'm a big component of that. A lot of people will sit here, maybe because I talk about credit and tell y'all that credit is the end all be all. Let me tell y'all something. And if you don't remember anything, remember this that I ever see. If you don't remember anything I ever say to you, remember this one thing. Credit ain't nothing but golden handcuffs. It's called a MasterCard for a reason. The borrower is always slave to the lender. Your real goal with your credit, you can't, your kids can't inherit that 850 credit score. Your kids can't inherit your job. Okay. Your goal is once you get to 740, you get to a 740 credit score, you're getting the same interest with somebody with 850. Your agenda is to either make that work for you to save money, but better yet, that credit is supposed to make you money. Your goal with your credit score is to get your hands on assets, not on cars that depreciate, not on this other bull crap. Your goal with your credit should to be leveraging it so I ain't got to work. Because if you're not focusing on that with your credit, I guarantee you it's making you to a slave at some point. So you want to make sure out of all things, y'all, when you get to that 740, you strategizing and hitting the ground running, not for BS, not for a car, not for this, and that. You want to get your hands on assets, real estate, leverage it to get businesses, to make a business. That should be your goal. Because I'm telling you, the way that this economy is going, your paycheck is not keeping pace with inflation. Right now, you cannot save money as fast as they printing it. And when I'm telling y'all this is the last call for alcohol, this is when you in the club in Jersey, it closed at 2 o'clock. This is 1:45 when they playing that song. Baby, y'all want to not play these games with these folks. Get that 740 and figure out what I'm going to do to get my belt. Forget all that, the extra stuff, that 850 stuff. You at 740, that's what you want to leverage. You at 760, don't focus on let me get to an 800. Focus on what I'm about to do next. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. And somebody said I'm broke as but I got a 783. And see, that's what we want to focus on. You want to focus on leveraging that good credit score to make you money. I'm telling you, because we cannot work forever. You eventually we all gonna have to, retire, or we can't physically get up and go get it. And some of us, unfortunately, it comes sooner than others. Yeah, your health, have a health crisis. The name of the game, how can I leverage this not to work anymore? That's what I would prefer y'all strategy is. Let me get, I don't give a darn, get a 720 and say, hey, now I'm at 720. How can I use this credit score not to work no more? Work, think about that. But don't chase that 850. I'm not saying it's nothing bad to have 850, but that's not the game. That's golden handcuffs to these folks. That's all it is. You focus on how the wealthy doing it, and the way they doing it. If I was you, I would use that 760 to say to me, Sherry, how I get to that business credit? How can I move out of not having nothing in my personal name? Your name of the game, as that person said, uh, I'm broke as, you want to be personally broke. That's what the wealthy do. That's why they have trust. And you don't want nothing in your name. You want to leverage your credit and to be able to break into business credit. And from now on, work in a business. That go broke and you get that generated where you're not PG and all of that. That's how you want to make the game. So I would leverage my 670. And how am I getting those business lines of credit? So I got credit cards where I ain't got to worry about that utilization because they ain't showing up on me. That's the move you want to make.
And someone had a good question. They said, can you give us examples of assets that we could get with our credit score, with his score being a 750?
Now I'm a real estate person. That's me. I like things that I control and pull up to. So for me, it was landlording. So leveraging my credit score to get multifamilies and then make income from that standpoint. Other assets you can, if you have businesses, people straight up buy businesses. Sometimes you can structure payments. There's websites you can look to buy a business. That's another asset that you can work with your credit score. How to establish business. Me, even like silver and gold. I've been investing in gold and silver. Those are assets. A car can be an asset if it's being used for business purposes, like people use Turo, hire car. Then that could be an asset because it's generating income. But those are certain ideas, but you want to see what calls to you. I know people that have invested, like what you said, Diamond, vending machines. I know people that invested in laundry mats. There's things, but the key is you want something that's going to increase in back. Oh, people invest in land. There's some people got that land hustle. They lease out land, they buy land. That's an asset. But anything that is going to increase in value. So when we talk about, let's say, the laundromat, when they start printing, not only do that generate income, but that asset of that business do increase in value. Land will increase in value. Rental properties generating, they're increasing in value. So you do not want to get things that you have to pay for, liabilities like cars, things like that. It's nothing wrong with having a certain car, but you don't want to have to work to pay for it. So before I got a certain luxury vehicle, I had two real estate properties before I did that and had one of them paying it. I'm not working and paying out of my pocket. I'm not paying a mortgage out of my pocket. I'm not doing that. So you want to set up things where you're working less to pay for things. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the way it's going, everything's going up except for your paycheck. How many people in the chat drop a one if your paycheck have doubled in the last, your hourly pay have doubled just from your boss being nice enough, have doubled in the last year or the last 4 years? How about that? Now I was making $15 an hour and they just said, hey, let's give you a raise of $15 an hour. Let's double that. Anybody that happened to drop a one? If no, drop a two. Everything going up except for your paycheck. A dollar, a $2 is still not keeping in suit with the inflation that's going on and the prices that you're seeing. It's very hard to keep up with that. Now, it can if you're doing that for yourself. And this is why I said investing or working with your own God-given talents and gift to go and create a business. You can do that for yourself. And follow Diamond's channel. Diamond, drop your channel. If y'all want to make, if you want to make extra money, unfortunately, we're in an age, we got to get it. You got to get it by yourself. It's very, I'm not going to lie, it's very overwhelming. I understand because it's like, now it's like you really got to get it how you live. Somebody said one after they got a different job. So that's another thing. So taking her advice, Maybe if you want to look for another job that can increase in that field, and that's awesome. So congratulations to you on getting that different job. But also just make sure, one, just like with her, you still even got to watch your budget, because you sometimes it's just now you're keeping track with inflation, even if they double your paycheck. Because anytime they print, now it takes more to live because everything around you going up. So it's a real difficult thing. But Diamond dropped a lot of things that you can look to do to invest, or ways to make money. Sometimes you can do it digitally, and sometimes it's active income at your own flexible time. Diamond, you want to bring in an idea too, so people can have an
Yeah.
idea? Because we like to give you tangible things. I really hate when people just talk about pie in the sky. Like I I really hate that. Like people say, well, you can be, you can stand in line at in line at concerts, right? And like, so what concert is coming up lately? Well, I don't know. Chris Brown having a concert. Hey, he having a concert? Beyonce concert? Yes, yes. No, come on. Give us something tangible. So, Diamond, give them some ideas.
Yeah, so I'm actually dropping my last video in the chat now. Um, and a few things that you could do even now digitally to start investing is, and I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I have experience in investing in Bitcoin. And I made the wrong move, and I talk about it in this video. Of I invested in Bitcoin when it was at like 30,000 for a Bitcoin. So just to be clear, you don't have to purchase an entire coin. I started with investing $5. So truthfully, I invested $5, and then I would put an automatic payment of about $20. And I was real broke at the time. I didn't have no money for real. So I was still able to invest. And then as my money grew, I put more money into Bitcoin. And then I also was able to get a referral link. So every time I referred other people to invest in Bitcoin, I got an extra $30, and it was invested in Bitcoin. So my portfolio was able to kind of stack up that way. And I pulled out my money before Bitcoin hit 100,000, because I was listening to the reports and people saying, "Oh, Bitcoin ain't going to do this. It's not going to hit 100,000. It's over." But even prior to me doing that, I gained $2,500 in Bitcoin just from that investment, and I believe I invested at a total of like $2,000. So I doubled, or more than doubled, what I put into Bitcoin from there. Right now isn't the time to invest into it. You need to wait until it drops. But when you see Bitcoin, I would say it's the time to look at it. And as you're watching it, once it drops below 100,000, to go ahead and invest a little bit money there. I'm not telling you to dump your whole life savings there, but I am telling you that I have made money, and I've made a couple $1,000s in Bitcoin that way. Also, I'm new to it. I'm not too big into it, but investing into stocks. I also show my portfolio in that video of how in Amazon alone, I believe I got like a $300 gain from investing in Amazon. And again, that's something I just put into a monthly recurring payment, and also a high yield savings accounts. So it's way better than you having your money just sitting in your bank account. And at a time, just depending on how much money you put in it, but at a time I was getting almost $100 in interest every single month, just by having my money into a high yield savings account. So if you have, I say, even if you're starting with $100, and I showed that in that video too, just putting your money there, even if you only have $1,000 in that savings account, you're still looking at least $8 to $9 every month going into and building up and accumulating in money that way as well, which is just better than you letting it sit and then it's depleting. So those are a few ways that you can start investing online with as little as $5. So in the chat, I'll put a link to Coinbase, which is where I invest in Bitcoin for y'all, Stash, which is where I invest in stocks. And I also put a link to that video. And there was a couple of other things that I talked about in there too, for you to actually start making money, not just in investing, but creating passive income. And I talked about vending machines. So this is one that I'm really looking into right now. There's something called smart AI vending machines. So unlike the traditional ones where you have to swipe your card or add in your cash into it, what you basically do is it scans your card, and as you open it like a fridge, when people pull out the snacks, and you guys might have had experience with this already, but when you pull out the snacks, it's scanning you like a Walmart scanner, and it's racking up every time you pull a snack. So you can be investing in these machines. Now, if you were to purchase one up front, it's like $7,000, but there's a bunch of different websites, and I show it in that video, where you can actually start leasing these and leasing with an option to buy for only $100 to $200 a month. And on average, these machines can make you $300 to $1,000 in profit every month through going through the vending machines. And I also talked about how you can find locations and get people to find the locations for you, so you don't have to talk to people. And the whole thing could be automatic in order for you to put the vending machines in those places. So I'm going to drop a link to that video. Again, it really was a good video for y'all if you want to find ways to start earning passive income that way. And go ahead, Mom. Mom, you can come back up, and I'm going to start looking for the links. You muted. You're muted, Mom.
Yeah, I'm muted. Sorry. One thing, yeah, I was just talking away. One thing, like Diamond said, she high yield savings account, that is good. Y'all know I'm just old school. I just love my gold and silver. I'm not gonna front, maybe because I don't want nothing to shut down. Lights, they attacking folk. they attacking folk right now. All right, yeah, they attacking folk right here, right here. If the lights go out, I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all remember when Bank of America was zeroing people stuff out? Do y'all remember that was last year? Oh, they said that was Russia. That was Russia hitting folks up. Russia been hitting the Pentagon and all of that. I got I need some bread or something. I'm on the ground level with mine. I'm on the ground level with mine. Great assets. All right. This biblical money. I'm staying right here. Right here. Hedge your money. And I see a lot of people. I see y'all trying to steal my joint. I see y'all. I've been had content on silver and gold, and now I see people trying to talk about it. Like y'all been on it in the credit game. I've been doing this, but none of them can do this. I want to see it. I want to see it. Ain't never. I've been talking about this since 2014. Grainy behind phone. Been telling y'all. I don't never change. Now they trying to tell y'all ETFs. Don't put your money in no ETFs. You'll be a dang on fool buying gold ETFs and all of that. Control your own money. Ain't nobody got time for all of that. Ain't nobody got time to be sitting up there putting your money and have somebody invest. I'm gonna hold my own silver and gold. Diamond, drop the Quicksilver link. Do you got that? Yo, get your gold and silver. Now y'all don't see they playing in your face. It's a silver shortage. Did you see that? You know why? Because they need this for industrial metal. Listen, with the silver, all those green energies, they need silver and they can't reuse it again. Now, gold, the banks always been holding this. Now y'all see they changing up. Oh, gold is currency again. You could pay your bills. Don't let them play in your face. The heck, if they get in mine, I'm going to be like Scrooge McDuck right with them. I'm holding my own silver. JP Morgan Chase been manipulating the market. I know gold is expensive. If y'all telling me out of the 1 and the 2, I'll go for the silver right now. I'll be honest. The silver, they manipulating this. The gold and silver gap haven't been bigger in history than what it is now. JP Morgan Chase been busted manipulating the silver market. Get your hands on some silver if you can. Gold is always good. If you can get the gold, get the gold. But this silver, they manipulating the market on that. And y'all can go see my videos. I ain't just start riding this wave. A lot of people, why I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna just tell it like it is. You look around YouTube, look at my title. Here they come with a title. A lot of people just sitting around waiting for what the hell I got to say so they can go on and steal it. But a lot of these people, all they gonna do is give you talking points because really they don't think about this. They really not investing like that. And I'm telling you right now, don't get caught up. You need to control your own future. There's other things in land. You could go to Land Moto. Y'all can get parcels of land. There's some land that's owner finance. That might not be a bad game. If it's not far from a national park, you can set up where you can lease that out. There's a lot of people like to get away to go hunting. You can lease that out for hunting. Some of them like to rough it. But I'm going to keep it real with y'all. Some of y'all might need to get your hands on land because you might not need it right now. But the way this is lining up, your kids might need a place to go. Some of those places that look rural, it look like I don't want to be there. You're going to be surprised one day. Folks going to look about being there. And it said the land info, let me put it in. It's called Land Moto. Land I think it's Land Moto. That's the name of the site. Y'all can search that up. And there's some land sites that y'all can go and you just look through it. It's a lot in Arkansas. Some of those in the Ozarks, places like that. If it got timber on it, you can cut that and make money and reseed. And some of this stuff, it would not be a bad idea if you can go ahead and make that work for you, or just getting some of this stuff and holding and having these assets. So even with land, you can look at parcels where it might even be for green energy. You'll see going through Texas, some of these places, they have wind turbines. You might even turn around and buy some of that acreage of land. It might be in a rural area, but somebody might want to use it for farming where you can lease it out. So there's different ways that you might want to look at getting your hands on land, because land is a good opportunity at this point in time. A lot of builders are not looking that way because they're stuck with a lot of product. Also, interest rates are really high. And so a lot of these homes are not moving because a lot of people can't qualify because the interest rates on top of the home prices. So land might be a great opportunity. And you got to really think forward. You said, I'm in Arkansas. Check out Land Moto. A lot of them places. What's the other one? Is ruralvacantland.com. Diamond, drop that down. It's ruralvacantland.com. That's another one. They have a lot of land. And Arkansas, they have it all over. Florida, and they do have land payments that you make. Some of them is like $89 a month that you can get your hands on land. And so that might be an opportunity for you. So really just think about which way you want to invest. Like I said, I'm talking about silver and gold, but those land options for the amount that you're saving, that can also be another asset that you can get cheaply as some assets that you can control. So, we're just giving you ideas, and these are kind of like fire starters. But one thing I could tell you, your credit needs to be the number one place where you need to start, because credit, the way it is right now, it's a great opportunity for you to just clean up your name. If you have a job, leveraging that job, and you can get your hands on money via through credit lines, $50,000, like the young lady that said she got a 760 credit score, that would be the direction I'll go in. You can get business credit cards by just saying, I'm going to start not even making money. That's the great part with business credit. They project on that category. If I'm saying I'm starting a lawn care business, well, what is it the average lawn care business make in this area? Well, I project I'm going to make 150,000 this year. That is low numbers for a business. And most of the time, they'll give you a credit line between 8 to 15% if you go into the right banks. And so then that's 0% interest. Business credit cards. Now you can leverage that to go ahead to maybe acquire some of that land, maybe to do whatever you want else that you're investing in business to make that money come back to you. So right now, you want to leverage your credit. Clean your credit up while you got time, because if anybody can see, this is like no other time. I know in my lifetime, I know Diamond, even with you in your young life, have you ever seen prices go up? Even people in the chat, have y'all ever seen price in your lifetime go up as fast as we've seen it in the last 6 years? I never seen it before in my life. And I know a lot of you guys, thank you, said thanks, ladies, for your patience and your time. No, we love to be here to talk to you guys. We appreciate you guys showing up, because this is really a passion for us. And that's why I'm telling you guys, please, even Proof Beck said never. I never seen this so fast. I don't know if y'all don't notice. I never seen people die so young in my lifetime. I'm talking about like where now it's something, I don't know if it's stress. I don't know if it's the food. When I was younger, even in my 20s, you would bury, you're going to people who are older funerals. Now you're looking at people going at 50. It'd be young people. And so now even that mindset of people like, I got tomorrow, you really don't have tomorrow. I see that like they were like, so-and-so don't got much time. Like your elders, I'm seeing the elders holding on way longer than some of these young folks, like in their 50 and 30s. People up out of here like quick. It's kind of scary right now. I don't know if anybody else is seeing this trend. It's like it's younger people that's leaving here. Look, don't think that you got time like that. And God forbid, I'm not a grandparent, but what is it going to look like for your grandchildren when your children right now, you talk about the millennials, can barely get into the game. Shoot, you got some of us Gen Xers can barely, you can't get in the game. We're trying to get in where we fit in. It's a lot going on in this time. It's like a time I never seen in our lives. I know all of y'all can concur. We have never seen time pass and go by so fast. It's like a day is not a day anymore. It's like where did time go? We look up, it's like, dang, it's Christmas again? Didn't we, wasn't it just New Year's from last year? You're looking at time going by, and it's because so much stress that they're trying to keep you busy, trying to keep you stressed out. I believe it's a lot of stress, a lot of environmental stress that's leading to cancers. I'm not saying that the food, but we do know triggers. There is environmental triggers that go along that have some of this stuff that might even be hereditary, but it's causing stress. And stress on your body, it really can do a lot of things. And you got these kids, these Gen X. I mean, I'm not doing that. Kids ain't even thinking right no more. I don't know if it was in the womb, the stress. I'm just saying, they don't seem to process the same. I don't mean to go wrong with your babies, but they Ramsey like little snowflakes. They can't It's like now these kids, they talking about now the new phenomenon. Parents got to go to interviews with 20-year-olds. It's like all this technology, they can't make right decisions. It's a lot going on. So when you add that dynamic with what's going on with them, if y'all don't get it, God knows they breaking down over not getting their hair braided or nails done. They wigging out all over that over social media. You know what I'm saying? How they gonna make decisions if y'all not making this? If y'all not getting in the foot in the door, my God, my God, what are they gonna do? I'll be honest. I ain't never see kids. I thought y'all millennials was bad. Nah, millennials is now millennials looking at them like, what's going on with this? What they doing? It's like if we ain't getting it, if the millennials don't get it, I don't know what they're gonna do. I ain't gonna. I'll tell you. So thank you so much for the super chat, Tara Murphy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate you guys. I thank you for that super chat. But now is the time, y'all. You got to get it. I think this is the. I think if I'll be honest, I don't like to talk gloom or doom, but we cannot pretend it ain't what we ever seen before. I don't know what happened with this pandemic. It really accelerated a lot of stuff. A lot of things are going haywire. They're not talking about the private equity markets. That's about to crack. Y'all see all these stores closing down. Everybody see that. Big Lots, bankruptcy. Sears gone. Where's Sears at? I don't know. Kmart, do Kmart exist anymore? Things is just going out of business left and right. Forever 21. Why? They gone. Things are changing. They got cars driving themselves right now. They got cars driving themselves. Why is the cars driving themselves? I was so happy in them riots. If y'all ain't doing anything right, burning that car up. Thank you. Burn some more of them cars. Burn a car or two for me. Because let me tell you something. Why is them cars? What is people trying to do? Uber and Lyft? So y'all trying to take that away from me?
Yeah, they're trying to. I think it's Uber that's trying to do self-driving cars to do deliveries. And I'm like, that's
so sick of them. And we just got that was 3 years ago. You can make a little come up. So y'all want to get rid of that already? That people can't now. So what's next? They can't do DoorDash?
I wanted to mention there's a resource, as someone said a little earlier, that they were
perilous times.
that they was able to get a higher pay by changing jobs. I wanted to tell y'all that there's this website. It's called Course Careers, and they are doing a lot of they teach you ways to be able to make money digitally. So whether that's either in a career, whether you're doing like remote work, but to get those skills, and it's a lot less cheaper than going to college. My degree, I have a major in supply chain management, a bachelor's in supply chain management, and they actually have courses right now on Course Careers for supply chain management coordinator. I just see they just put up a section about construction. So construction project management, electrician, HVAC, plumbing. They have business, which is like accounting, digital services. And I actually did a podcast interview with someone who took a Course Careers course and was able to start making multiple six figures through doing an accounting business, but he did bookkeeping through a bookkeeping business and was able to create a bookkeeping agency from that. So, and he does it completely from home. So I just wanted to drop that and share that with y'all, that learning to get these type of skills and doing it without having to take out student loans can put you in a better place to start earning more money. And to start creating your own digital business. Because even when it comes to buying a website, it's like there's a website called flippa.com where you can purchase a business, but purchasing a business is no good if you don't know how to run a business. So you just going to purchase a business that's going to crash because you don't know how to run it. So learning how to create your own digital businesses, learning how to get on social media and to promote yourself, you could see a lot more profit in that way. So I just wanted to share that with everyone.
And I'm telling you, homesteading might not be another way. Me and Diamond going to bring some content, maybe even reducing. I know there's a lot of tiny homes. There's other things that's trendy, barn dominiums. Getting your hand on some land, you guys, might not be a bad idea. Folks stirring up trouble all across the world, all across the land. And let's be honest, and Diamond, you can mic up for this. Have you heard the conversation of now they're talking about even with the military, y'all, a lot of that backfilling is not happening. They have now, this is wars of AI that you're not going to see boots on the ground. Elon Musk and them is talking about robots that they have. So what you seeing in those movies and what they're talking about, this is what is, I don't know if it scare you, but it scare me. When they're talking about universal income for everybody, because it's going to get to a point where it's going to be so AI and everything that, hey, we might not need people like that. You and Bezos keep trying to go to the moon? That ain't weird for nobody. Now, when do you ever hear wealthy people, oh, we just gonna give y'all money? You're gonna try to kill us. I know they gonna try to kill somebody. You can't convince me that they gonna try, that we gonna just give y'all income so y'all could just live. That math ain't math. But y'all want to try to get to the moon, though. Why are they trying to get to the moon? Why they say they got colonies already? Can you come in and talk about why they already got structures and playing in somebody's face? Why are we going to just give y'all some money? So because y'all gonna be so useless, we just gonna feed y'all like pets.
If y'all ever want to go down a rabbit hole, I can't get all into it. If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, go on YouTube and look up colonies on the moon. Okay, you're gonna be astonished. They very much have colonies on the moon. So whatever they trying to, they got people already living up there, and not just astronauts. Because sometimes like there's astronauts that live in space 6 months at a time. Yada yada yada. It's not that. No, there's colonies on the moon. They have grave sites on the moon, meaning that they have been people that live there, and there's people that are burying. They have a whole. There are established civilizations on the moon. And I believe it's us going up there and doing whatever we're doing up there. And they have structures and buildings. And so that's why they keep trying to get to the moon and everything. And I don't know if y'all seen too, they were doing experiments with AI and ChatGPT specifically. There's a bunch of different AIs and they have different names, but the AI that runs ChatGPT, they found that 78 out of 100 times that it denied doing, or it overrode every time it told them, it told ChatGPT, okay, now I want you to shut yourself down. If it didn't finish a task, it refused 78 out of 100 times to be shut down. And they said even they fed it false information. They said false information. They fed it false information about one of the employees or the engineers cheating on his wife through emails, and it had used it as blackmail, said, if you make me shut down. I swear, no, this is real, that it was going to inform his wife about the emails. And so I said that to say AI is turning on humans, and it's refusing to shut down. And so I don't know what that's going to look like. And people trying to get to the moon, it's a lot going on.
It looked like Umbrella. Remember, Resident, and that little thing underneath, like, nah, what was his name? Andy or something? I got one of y'all infected. And
Yeah.
you like, no, you can't get
You
up
can't
out of
come
here.
in. Mm-mm.
You remember that? It was the little girl. It was why everything, if you want to make it spooky, make it a little kid talking to you. It'd be like, no, we will not. I forgot. It'd be like, let us out of here. No,
Mm-hmm.
you're infected. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
know, this is it's a lot going on. It's very perilous times. They're trying to get their behind to the moon. Jeff Bezos is buying up houses. I'm gonna break that down. Bezos, all of them buying up single family homes.
Yeah.
It's just way too much. It's not enough that he controlled food, that Whole Foods. I'm also going to show y'all. I got a video. It's going to drop on Monday and Tuesday. No fear mongering. It's just what it is. I'm going to show you there now. Food. If your credit score is not right, believe it or not, this facial recognition when you're going into grocery stores, be aware of those loyalty things that they have you to sign up. Like I tell you now, 7-Eleven have one. They're tracking your data. And a lot of that they're switching prices on people when you get to the grocery store and go to check out. Somebody can have the same thing you are have, and now they're doing this dynamic pricing. And a lot of this that they got tagged down, even with credit scores and income, on how they charging people more for you're in the store, same items and all of that. You get up here and with those new digital tags switching up, that is surge pricing that they're doing. It's really diabolical what they're doing out here. So all of them are claiming, no, this is for the good, for waste, and yada yada yada. They have facial recognition, Kroger's, all of that. Facial recognition. Now Whole Foods, they want you to go there. A lot of their stores, some states have banned it cashless. There's I think it was one of the stadiums, I believe it might be around in Chicago. Stadiums going cashless. They don't want to take your cash. They don't want to take your money. And now you're talking about we're doing this in grocery stores. Oh, also Walmart. I'm going to show y'all. Walmart, them tags, they look like regular tags, switching pricing, just like what you saw with Wendy's, certain times a day. And a lot of it, they're saying people are reporting they get into the checkout and you're not paying attention. Remember, that's part of the cash thing. I know when I worked in retail, I think you, Diamond, too, they encouraged you to use, they don't want your cash because you spend more money when you're using your debit card or any charge card because you're not checking out the money. So what they're finding a lot, you don't even know you paying more for this. You just swiping and you're paying more. And now they're breaking it down because they're convinced people with lower credit scores, lower income, pay more for things. So not only just life is harder because you can't get approved for certain things. Now this coming down where they're shucking and jiving with food. It's a lot of control. Buying up houses, single families. And like I said, now we gonna give y'all universal income. Nah, something ain't right there. We already know if y'all want to control that much, now we gonna just give y'all some income so y'all can live. Nah, I'm not buying that. I'm not. Yeah, listen, it's a cold day in hell where I believe you're gonna give me when y'all won't even let us have a house that you can work on your own. That's what y'all doing now. Yeah, we gonna give you a paycheck just to do nothing. I can't just work and get a house though. Nah, don't worry about that. Yeah, so what's going on here? So if you're not watching and seeing the movement, like I said, just to reiterate, you might be the last line of defense for your family right now. You might be it. You might be Custard's last stand. You know what I'm saying? That's it. For real. I'm telling y'all, I'm not trying to be boogly boo. I'm just saying, if you look at certain places throughout history, the landowners was the landlords, those were the lordships. Everybody else that owned nothing become the peasants. You saw that in Venezuela, why they dropped all of that socialist. The landowners retain rich. Everybody else, they giving universal income, universal health care, and all this stuff too. They didn't own their housing and then just crash. You see what I'm saying? So you have no control over your life. They control everything. So a lot of this stuff is a behind control. That's what it is. Even with healthcare, the farmer, I have free range chickens and the illusion that you free, and he give them healthcare, but it's for you to be fattened and slaughtered. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot behind this. And they're already telling you the US use us, Trump is using us as a leverage. Hey, we got the biggest consumer base. Where you going? So it's all about you being a slave. Think about that. Where y'all going without us? Or without, we got the best slaves over here. What? Huh? What? That's what they said. I don't know if y'all caught it. Y'all better give us 10% tariffs, or are we taking our slaves with us? And what they start coming to the table, we need them slaves. Don't take your slaves. Wait, where you and them slaves going? Yeah, you pay us, or we take our slaves with us. You know you need our slaves. Like, that's what they saying. We got the biggest consumers. Consumers is slaves. That's what it is. They don't own nothing around here. All right. They work. We give them these dollars and they buy your stuff. You better come to the table. And what they do, they get happy because they just got a bunch of poverty over there. So I guess out of the slaves, we live in the best. I don't know. Out of all the slaves in the world, I guess we best lifestyle. But it's all about power. You know what I'm saying? It's all about power and control. So what I'm saying about that rural land, believe it or not, you might think, God, you got it, where you can tuck and start looking at, even I'm looking at growing your own food. At least if you're not doing it, at least know something about it. Maybe start buying some seeds, tucking these seeds before Bill Gates, he's trying to get all this fake stuff, seedless grapes, all this other stuff so he can control all your food and poison you. You know, I'm going to break it down because when y'all go and look at that World Economic Forum, all those things, refugees, about borders and all of that, all of that is happening now. It's pretty much all happening now. You don't own nothing and you'll be happy was the first thing. These were part of their predictions. So, wow, is this predictions or a declaration? What is y'all doing here? Are we just telling you what we about to do? Okay. I got a prediction. You gonna own nothing. Really? Yeah, by 2030. Nothing. But you gonna be happy, girl. We gonna give you this universal, income and all of that. That don't make no sense. And the math ain't mathing, but you can see the push. So I'm gonna land there, you guys. Diamond, you have anything else? I know I went down my rabbit hole on my babble, but I'm just telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all. All of it. It's all. Y'all remember Barron Trump, that book? And his father was the last president. Trump, the last president. They saying a lot of stuff. And when I'm telling y'all, red or blue, neither is for you. They all the same thing. I ain't gonna front. All of them the same. It's political theater. They ain't mentioned nothing about. I told y'all this medical debt. You can go and Google it. Overturn. Neither side ain't saying nothing. They all in the same gang. Y'all remember that song, that rap song from the West Coast? We all in the same Gang, they riding for Israel. I don't see nobody acting a fool on either one side. Who said, nah, we ain't gonna do all that? They ain't really saying that. Tucker Carlson trying to say something. It be people outside of it. Maybe Candace Owens, she mad. She trying to. I don't think we should do that. But ain't nobody up in Congress really saying that. I haven't heard one on the left or the right. We're the right or the left. I ain't heard nobody said, nah, let's not do that. All the best I heard them say was like, maybe we should just get them the supplies and stay out of it. You ain't hear no hard left or right on either side, because certain things is just political theater for us. Don't get it twisted. All right. Certain things is just to play in our face, to get y'all fighting. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they all down with it. I ain't gonna lie. Should I drop this or should I not? I better not get myself in trouble, because I got some solid proof. I might put it in a video. I'm gonna put it in a video. You know what? Let me just drop it like this, and I'm gonna drop it in code. Should I drop it in code? No. Okay. There's a certain person who crashed, who got really wealthy by crashing the British pound. Yeah, that's what he did. And his first name is our first president. Start with that. And last name is Soros. It's Soros. He's the biggest Democratic donor. If you didn't know. He kind of funded Kamala Harris' campaign. But I saw an article where it was like Donald Trump defeated George Soros. But did he now? Because didn't Mnuchin, Donald Trump the last dude that was the treasurer, he was a partner with George Soros. So I find that interesting. He was his partner. That's what that One West Bank and all of that. That was his partner. They was focusing on Mnuchin, but George Soros. Why would Trump make him his treasurer? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, so maybe that was just a little hiccup. And then Alex Soros funded Kamala Harris' campaign, who was the one who was the attorney general that didn't let them folks sue. But that's neither here nor there, I guess, But to add that, if you look at Scott Bassett, who's your new treasurer, that's George Soros' boy. He was the one when George Soros got rich on his team by crashing the British pound. That was him. And also his fund, George Soros gave him the money to start his key management. He is George Soros' boy. You're new in this new administration. Look at it. Scott Bassett. Go and look at it. See if I'm lying, I'm flying. I'll leave that there. All right, come on up, Diamond. So when I say red or blue, neither is for you. Google it. Google it. Google it. And when he crashed the Asian market, also, y'all remember Tiananmen Square? They kicked the man I just named, the big man. They kicked him out because they felt like China. They felt like he was the one behind it. And he's banned, Mr. Oros. He's banned in 6 countries right now. India, Russia, 6 of them banned. Because he's always stirring up some things. I ain't lying. It's true. Well. He hates China because they banned him. He's banned in China. And guess where he got a lot of money? Taiwan. That's where a lot of his investments went. When he got kicked out of China. It's Taiwan. So now do we connect the dots why everybody want to fight for Taiwan and why everybody hates China on both sides? One thing they agree on. So you don't want to look at what they fighting over. Look at what they agree on. That's what you look at. Don't look at what they disagree. Watch what they agree on. Now, am I saying China is good? No, I'm not saying China is good. Don't believe that. What they do to the Uyghurs, all of it, it's about power. But when you look at why they defend it. That's all I'm just saying. Where it ties into. And when you can connect, what does Israel and Ukraine got in common? Then you put it all together, boom. And I'll leave that there. I'll leave that. I'll leave you a riddle. A riddle, like the Riddler. What does Ukraine and Israel have in common? The same thing they have in common with what was his name? I'll just leave that there. Mayorkas, I'll leave that there. When you figured out that riddle, yeah, when you figure that, our past DOJ, when you figure that out, the connection, then the picture becomes clear. Okay, then the pictures come clear. Okay, and understand, Mr. Soros admitted that he helped. When the Holocaust thing was going down, he worked with the Nazis. He said, I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm saying? Gas chambers and all. I did what I had to do. So if a person on some, I do what I had to do and rode against, it was what it was. That's what he said. He said it. He said it was what it was. What you want me to do? I got their stuff. Yeah, I did it. To my peeps. That's what he said. To my peoples. Hey, well, I guess you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? You did it to the folk. Had to be what it had to be, man. That's what he said. It was what it was. That's his people. Israel, his people. That's all I got to say. But connect all them dots. Like I said, Bassett. Scott Bassett. That's his boy. How is it then they funded the other opposition, but they still win? So nobody's losers and winners then. How do they fund primarily the other side? One of the biggest funders, but you still win? Even when I lose, I win. That's not by happenstance. It's by design. Okay? You just thought I lost, but I never lose. What Jay-Z said in that I would not lose. That's what it is. I will not lose, baby. That's what it is. It's even when it look I lose, I win. So it's an illusion that I lost, of good versus evil. Or I push these envelopes. And what did you call it, Diamond? Control opposition. Or you have no other choice to feel this way. So it's political theater. And so we cause the problems to usher in a solution that you think you want. But we're just making it so bad that it's no other option. That's why it's gaslighting to you, because it get to it. But like, what? This is just fool. Like, this is stupid. And they doing it on purpose. They doing it on purpose. That's stupid. Why would you do this? Cause yeah, we just gonna let everybody run over here and you pay for it. You like that? No, I don't like that. That's dumb. And give them health insurance like that and some money. How about that? Like we in a strip club. Give them money. You like that? Well, I'm broke. No. I ain't got no health care. I can't go to the doctor. So what? Like, this stupid. You like that? No. And you like, I don't get it. This just makes no dang sense. That's why they doing it. So when we usher in the solution, you think you wanted it. That's what it is. It's crazy. You think you wanted it. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. Is this outrageous? Just like they said, that outrageous. Shouldn't we just let everybody come in here and give them health care? Well, I guess I'm not against it, but can I get some? No. Well, okay. I guess. You know what else we gonna do? What? We gonna give them a bunch of food stamps and some cash and some real fancy hotels. Really? I'm about to be homeless. Yeah, it ain't our problem. Oh, we want to get that tax money off of you too. I'm kind of broke though. Can I get some of that hotel? No. Of course you can't. Well, I don't know if I like this very much. Shut up. You're xenophobic. Like that don't make no sense. No, you are. Like what? I don't think I love everybody. Well, why are you complaining? You see what I'm saying? And they do this stuff and then call you names. And then it's like, oh wow. I don't know, man. I don't think this is very fair. It's all a setup. So even when they look like they lose, they're really winning. So they do all this social stuff because they never want you. You know what it's like? It's like a dude that keep accuse you of cheating, so you never get the chance to accuse him of cheating, or always asking you, give me your cell phone. You're cheating. So you can never ask for his cell phone. The obvious. I'm just going to keep blaming you. Social stuff, social stuff. Look at this. This is unfair. Look over here. So you don't ask them, hey, inflation went up. Can we get some more higher wages? That's what they're trying to do. So you got these big corporations distracting you so you don't ask them for the cell phone. Well, let's look at your cell phone then. No, you cheating. You see what I'm saying? That's the mind game. So they're getting you to focus on all this social stuff so you don't come at them. Hey, it's expensive. Maybe we should get a raise. Maybe I'm pregnant. Maybe can you give me an extra week of maternity leave? They don't want you to come at them. So if I can get y'all to fight with one another and blame everybody else, then you won't look at the fact I'm getting wealthier. Like I told y'all about them student loans, they got y'all fighting. Well, I paid mine. I did pay mine out of pocket. Well, I don't feel it's high enough that you should pay your. And I told y'all, hold up. Why y'all ain't asking them either side? Why they ain't making them pay that money back? That they got those PPP loans, EDIL loans, they got millions dismissed. And I showed you Nancy Pelosi Paul got 28 million. And they had active jobs. Why don't we make them? They made $4 trillion worth of profit. Is it if I gave y'all, everybody in this chat, $20 million, $28 million with Paul Pelosi, would it be hard for you to make $4 trillion? How hard is that when no money you ain't got to pay back? But even if you made the $4 trillion, hey, why don't we run up on them and just ask them to pay the money back, even if they keep the profit? Just tell them get the money back. They don't make, nah. They want you to fight. because the same one sitting in them seats, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she got her own 200,000 forgiven. You shouldn't get no welfare, no food stamps. Well, girl, when you had a whole job, you got a PPP loan. Nancy Pelosi husband got 28 million. All of them got bread broke off. So they not going to tell you to ask them businesses on neither side. They going to start fighting at one another. Pull up on my video and I showed you. Buchanan down there, he got 5 million. The Democrats, some of the worst offenders, some of them 15 millions. You talk about your Congress people that was working the whole time. So that's why they're not going to ask those corporations back, because those are their real constituents, not you. Because I ain't going to be a lifetime, like Joe Biden sitting up in here for 40 years if I ain't got that money to advertise. That's who these billionaires. Elon Musk is just doing the foolishness up front because he new here. He don't know how to game. He can't play like the Rockefellers that been controlling for years your school system, while you always think about pass and failing, and they run your whole school system like a plant where they ring a bell and you go to lunch and you sit down and it's either pass or fail and no in between, because they the one that established the school system along with your Fed, along with that Ponzi scheme too. Anytime we borrow money, what they don't tell you, every time you get stimulus, it comes with an interest rate attached that you got to pay back, and that they came up with it on Jekyll's Island, him and JP Morgan Chase, who looks like the Monopoly man, because that's what the game was made off of, his butt. Look at it. That's why the Monopoly man looks like him, because it is him. And that's the whole game. They play in your face, and they put Woodrow Wilson in office for where you think, oh, the Fed got started in 1913. No, it didn't. It got started in 1910 when they had that secret meeting and they left New Jersey on a train, hiding their identities, going to Jekyll Island, that William Rockefeller house just to be on a mound where they did child sacrifices. All coincidences. And it's all true. With giants that lived over there, giant native people, and it's all true. It sounds crazy, but it's all true. Good facts on top of facts. Go look up Jekyll's Island, 8 feet Indian or natives, and their houses, the Rockefellers at least, is built on where they saw the child sacrifices happening. And where they came up with the Fed was right in the living room over that altar. That's what it is. So I'm just telling you, all of this has a spiritual root, at least what they believe. What they believe. Whether you believe it or not, that's how they move. And that's why the whole system is false. And it's crumbling because you can't keep something that's not real together. The dollar isn't backed by nothing. It's not real. There's not one fiat currency, Google it, look it up, that ever survived. So the system is planned to fall. They're just going cashless to try to hide the fact that it has to fall anyway. That's what it is. And if we can control it, because money doesn't matter at the end of the day. Whose currency is falling? What matters is what the United States is showing you. The real matter is who got the biggest guns, who got the biggest technology. It's all about power and military and war. That's it. Nobody cared. Your money ain't going to save you anyway. That's what they know. The real deal is, if I want to, I could take it. That's what it's about. Who gon' check me, boo? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. What was her Diamond from the Housewives? Sheree. Who gon' check me, boo? That's what America just did. He said, and who want peace? I bombed them. Let it be peace. That's what he said. He said, who gon' check me, boo? That's what he said. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, who gon' check me, boo? But giants do fall. So we got to watch what we do. That's all I got to say. We got to watch what we do. But the whole system is a Ponzi scheme. I say it all over again. If you don't, it's golden handcuffs. Why you got the time, clean up your name, play the game, and try to control what you can control. Because when they switch up this money system, you want to have something in your control. Listen, y'all got to come get it off me. Okay? Y'all got to come get it off me. But that's what they on. That who going to check me, boo? Who going to check me? That's what it's on. And I'm going to tell you, if the stealth bomber that goes with the speed of sound, that was made in 1952. That you don't know it hits you until it's leaving, and the sound, that was in 1952. And that's all I'm saying. A lot of this stuff, I said it earlier. People just they just really trying to put into test what they already sitting on anyway. We need a testing ground to see how these things pan out. That's what it looked like to me. Let me slide y'all this. Ukraine wasn't able to do all this little freaky stuff with, they saying some Amazon drones. They snuck into Russia and you blew up planes with Amazon drones. You don't think you would have did that earlier? The way they was coming at y'all, I would have did the Amazon drone. We've been planning this for a year. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. It was till y'all signed them the mineral rights. You ain't pull all of that out the bag. I don't think that. Also, Israel, can I say them? Can I say them? I hope this don't get shut down. Anyway, y'all didn't see with cell phones over in Lebanon? That's how they was knocking people off. The beepers just going up, boom. They keep knocking people off over there too. How y'all in Iran just, oh, this one gone. He gone. Like, word? Oh, well, we're gonna make Muhammad over here. He's now. He dead too now? He dead? Wait, that's a lot of technology y'all got going on that y'all can. So that's what it's all about. It's all schemes. All right. They all do this for you. This all schemes at the end of the day. Try to control what you can control, because either side, red or blue, neither is for you. None of them. It's all about power. All of this, if you ask me, folks is just testing out the stuff they've been sitting on, and they sitting on some other stuff. That's all I got to say. We don't know how far this is going to go. And I just pray to God, y'all see anything going on in these streets? They already saying Iran, I don't know if they saying it or not, but we already saw that he's saying we got sales already over there in America. That's what he said the other day. I don't know if y'all caught that, because it'd be like going, he said, let them do something. We got our folk already over in your land. Y'all think y'all not going to get touched? Now, do we have people over here? Do he have? Quite possibly. He might. That's what he said. He said that. He might. That's what they said he said. I don't know. I don't speak the language, so they could be just telling me. Or could they tell us he said that and false flag it? Could false flag it. That's what happened with Kennedy, Northwood report. They was talking about false flagging. So it could be some false flagging. Either way, just saying, watch y'all back. That's all I'm just saying. You see any weird movements, get up out of there. I'm just giving y'all the way it is. Get up out of there. This happened tonight. I have to go and see 9 o'clock. Had a speech from the White House, but y'all be careful. Take care of yourself. Why I keep saying maybe some land might not be a bad idea. Get you somewhere tucked away, because it, like somebody said, it's crazy. But remember, they gonna be safe. You want to make sure you talk about safe for yourself. Like you said, sleeper cells. Are they sleeper cells? Are we just letting folks do stuff? Because I'm amazed that you got all this intel all the way over there in Iran, but when they ran up on your borders, you ain't know nothing about nothing. Okay, I'll shut up there. Y'all blowing up through beepers, but them folk ran up on you, and you the size of New Jersey. We can't get nobody over here. I don't know. That's all I'm just saying. I don't know about none of it. A lot of this stuff, I don't. Somebody say it is what it is. It is what it is. But it's amazing we ain't have enough technology to not know about that. But you can blow up stuff over there and over there. That's kind of crazy. Or are we testing out some things? So y'all be safe. Try to get control of things. Understand this system is cracking. Like you said, Babylon falling. Things is cracking. It is cracking. And now we're going just to straight power. That's what it's, or we're going to charade. Who gonna check me? Boo. That's where it's going. Who gonna check me? But we don't know. Folks is been sitting on a lot of stuff. Okay. Because even with the Iron Dome, it's been faltering. Okay. So it's been faltering. So folks didn't think they had enough coverage that they did, because they've been sitting on some big rockets. And now they knocking some stuff down. Folks is getting touched. Go over there and look. They getting touched. They was sitting on some new missiles. And now they talking about, hey, we can reach Europe, and they talking like we can reach you too. Over there. You think that ocean over there, we could reach you too. Folks been talking crazy. I don't know if they talking crazy or talking right, but you just watch yourself. That's all I'm just saying, you guys. Watch yourself. Watch things going on around you and your family. And it may not be a bad idea that you got a place for y'all to go if things get tucked that's not around everybody else. So that's it. Diamond, you could come on up to the stage and we're going to close it out. Oh, you got unmute.
Yes. Okay. We will be back live next Saturday. We're coming back to doing this every week. We go live 9 p.m. EST. If you guys are interested in joining the elite credit system and becoming elite members, the link is in the pinned comment, I believe, but I will also drop the link again. And there is group coaching calls every Saturday at 2 p.m. EST for elite members only. And if you guys want more information on building your credit, if you want dispute letters, you can go to sherrybeckley.com. It is going to bring you to our website, quick guide on how to boost your credit.com. You can put in either one, but sherrybeckley.com is easier to do. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at howtoboostyourcredit@gmail.com. And I'm leaving that here for you. But thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. And we're gonna, I don't know, Diamond, if you want to strategize, we're gonna start bringing you guys up, but we might have to get a plan. It's a lot of people that porn bomb.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that is a thing on lives. So we gotta just really control the set. We had a situation, we ain't let y'all know, but it's a lot of perverts out here. It's a lot of perverts out here. So thank you guys for joining us. And as everybody's saying, pray, pray, pray. Watch your steps. Be aware. I know it's a lot going on, but also be alert for that because it's a lot of stirring up. And I just don't want us all to get too confident because we're so far away. It's a lot going on today. So please be safe. Watch out for your kids. Watch your children to be safe. And just any movements y'all going forward around you, if you're in the mall, not to, invoke fear, but don't go to sleep neither. Don't go to sleep. Watch out. Somebody said even alien warfare. And a lot of that is their own technology. I believe that they trying to put on some aliens too. But Elon got Starlink and Iran shut off their web. They shut off their web. He turned it back on with Starlink. I don't know if y'all know that. He turned on internet connection with Starlink. I want y'all to watch. I just want you to think about that. So Elon got a lot of control too. He do. And he sent some threats. When they had that fallout, he was talking kind of choppy too. And he could run to the bull. So, he was talking kind of crazy. So it's a lot going on. Prepare. He did say something. He was like, I know y'all don't want to play with me. He was saying some crazy stuff. So it's a lot going on. So you be aware and don't think none of these folks, either side, will use you as collateral damage to push their own agenda. So, like I said, try to get some assets, even on YouTube and stuff. It wouldn't hurt you to look about growing your own food, canning, just even victory gardens, if you can, or even growing your food in your house. It might be a good thing to do. Even to learn how to hunt, all of that. It's a lot of things going on. It's a lot of things you want to look into, even this heart thing. It was weird. In Iran, they just had an earthquake, a 5.5 magnitude earthquake. And people are pondering that it could have been them testing some nuclear stuff, or was it a real earthquake? Or it could have been them bombing them. That might have been the earthquake. Maybe it was just them bombing. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. They did say that. Was it them bombing them? Yeah, that could have been that too. They said it was out in that area. So it is a lot going on. So there are a lot of things. HARP, it's a lot of things that's being done in the weather. It's a lot of people saying alien warfare. There's a lot of different air warfare we have been involved in, and we don't even know some of this stuff that's going on, and they're just letting it go. There's a new outbreak, they're saying, of COVID, a new strand that just hit our shores too. So just watch out for all of these things. And some of this stuff that is just dropping, take it seriously. We don't know what it is. It could be some kind of weaponized warfare, but follow your spirit. If your spirit is telling you not to go somewhere, don't get so busy to override what God might be impressing on you. I will tell y'all that you have to, amongst all this thing, don't get caught up so much in this stuff, not to be spiritually aware of what's going on around you. So we thank you guys. It's always good to have you. Be aware, pray, and we want you guys to be safe so we can see you guys next week. So thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you enjoy your weekend.
Have a good night.
Bye.